Morning, sunshines. Hello and welcome to the first Geek Boutique episode. And for this video I'll be teaching you how to do the Abaddon supernatural look, where she's been shot up there in her chin, beheaded and stitched back together again. So it's going to be a makeup tutorial for the messy look and special effects as well for the slashed throat and the stitches and the bullet hole. So keep on watching and I hope you enjoy. So as I'm going to be using powder foundation for this look, I'm going to start off using the 17 Stay Time Concealer in Extra Fair. I'm just going to dab that all over any blemishes and red marks and slightly underneath the eyes as well, just to cover up a little bit of that blueness, but you don't need to do it a lot because it's going to be a messy dark look anyway. Then taking my beauty blender, I'm just going to dab that all in. Next I'm going to be using my Illamsqua powder foundation in the shade 115, and I'm going to be just dabbing that all on with the buffing brush from Real Techniques, and this is perfect for creating the pale powdery face that Abaddon has. Then once the foundation's all done, I'm just going to use my contouring kit from e.l.f. and I'm going to be using the top right shade, which is the darkest of the browns in this kit. I'm just going to take my Real Techniques contouring brush and blend that into the hollows of the cheekbones. Then once that's all done, it's time to go onto the brows. Now because Abaddon is ginger, you want to just run a sort of slightly auburny shade. I'm going to be using the one on the left from this really old kit. It's not great to use old makeup, but it's the only sort of gingery shade I have. I'm just going to run that through my brows just to give that lovely auburn shade to them. And I'm going to do this using the Real Techniques brow brush. Then I'm going to take my ordinary brow pencil, which is the Soap & Glory Archery pencil in Brownie points. I'm just going to use this to blend the ginger colour with my own colour. Next onto eyeshadows, and I'm going to be using the Sleek Dark Ultra Mattes palette, using the black, the brown that's below it, and the flesh colour on the left of the brown. These are going to be the main colours for the whole look. Firstly, I'm going to be taking the shade Flesh all over the lid with a MAC 239 brush and just blending that out in the crease. Then once that's done, you just want to take a MAC 217 and blend out the brown shade, which is called Paper Bag, into the crease of the eye. Then I'm just taking a clean buffing brush from Real Techniques, I think it might be the crease contour brush, and just blending that out. You want to add a few layers of this shade of the brown, because once you've blended it out it sort of loses its intensity, so you just want to keep building it up until you've got the effect that you want. Then for the dark bruised eye look, I'm just taking the shade Nuit, which is the black shade, mixing it in with a little bit of the brown and putting it on the very inner parts of my eyes, just so they look very dark and shadowed. And then blending that out onto the lid and then underneath as well. So I'm just going to continue taking the brown and black blended together down under the eye and just blending it all in, making it look really messy. Then I'm just going to take my beauty blender and sort of dab that so that it all just blends and merges in together. Then once you've done that, it's time for the liner, and I'm using Maybelline's gel eyeliner in black here. Abaddon does have both black and green eyeliner if you look very carefully. It's a thin black line underneath and then a thick line of green liner on top. But I don't have any gel or liquid green eyeliner, so I'm just going to go for a very, very faded black look on top, and then underneath that, just at the very base of the lash, a dark black line. So I'm starting off with just doing it all faded, just wiping a load of excess off on the back of my hand and going for a very faded sort of grey look, and then I'll go back in at the base of the lash with a lot of product on my brush. Now onto the other eye, and I'm just going to start with the flick, making sure it's the same as the side I've just done, and then I'll go and fill it in. So overall you want the look to be sort of grey and very thick, and then really black at the lashes with a little flick of dark black as well. Then onto mascara, I'm using the George Lash Extend in black from Asda. I was in there the other day and I just saw this and I thought it's £2.50, I might as well get it just to see how it is. And I'm actually very happy with the results. It's a really good mascara. It gives a really lengthened, full lash, and it's not the sort of typical mascara I would use for Abaddon, but it's the only good mascara that I've got at the moment. All my other ones have dried out. But I'm just going to use the lash separator just to separate them and make them look a bit more feathery for this look. Then I'm just going to go in with a little bit of extra of that black and brown mix of eyeshadows and add some more dark shades around the under eyes. Now I'm not going to use any mascara on the bottom lashes because she doesn't have any that I can see of. So I'm just going to use the brow brush and add a little bit of the black shade and then blend it out on the bottom lash line. Now for the lipstick, I'm using Illamsqua in the shade Sangers, which is a lovely dark matte red lip. And I'm just going to blend this out onto the lip. Just drawing it on, not too sort of messy and not too defined, just very simply to begin with. Then I'm going to blend that out with my fingers. Now for the smudge that Abaddon has for their lipstick, you want a reference picture really, just to make sure that you get it perfectly right. And you also want to make sure that you do it on the wrong side. So I'm doing it on my left here because to me in the mirror it looks like it's on the right side, but when you look back at it, it's not, it's on the wrong side. So you want to make sure you do it on your right side so that when people look at you, it's on your left. And you just want to smudge out that top right bit into a sort of triangle from your right cupid's bow and very slightly sort of in that corner as well. And then on your left bottom lip, just a little bit, just a very slight smudge down. And then here I'm just going back in with the lipstick and defining that Cupid's bow, and you can go in and define any other bits that you think need doing as well. And that is the finished makeup done. Now it is going to be onto the special effects, and for this you're going to need the Snazzy special effects kit, which I got on Amazon for about £12, which is pretty good. Comes with the wax, the blood, spatula and the little stipply sponge and the paint, which we're going to need. Now unfortunately I didn't quite get the camera angle right here, so when I'm starting off putting the wax on you can't really see very much of it. So I'm just going to talk you through it and hopefully you'll get the gist of it from these little clips. So what you want to do is try and get as much wax as you can. It's very difficult and it's very messy and sticky. You just want to start by getting a little roll of the wax, putting it on your skin, trying to get it to stick onto your neck where you need it. And then you need to get a little bit of water on the end of your fingers just to smooth out the edges and make it really stick onto the skin. And you just want to keep going around in bits and bobs and just filling it in where you need it. So basically the procedure is just to put it on, smooth it out with water, and then just keep doing that. So put it on water, and keep going around the neck and do as much as you like. I've just sort of gone just about to the sides of my neck, but you can go further around if you want, or get someone else to do the back if you want to go all the way around as well. You just need to be very careful with this because it does move around a lot, and the more you play with something it can actually mess it up even worse, as you can probably see by what I'm doing. So you just want to try, don't play around with it too much, just get it enough so that it looks decent and then leave it, because it doesn't need to be sort of perfect. It's going to be messy and it's going to make it look even better if it's really messy. So once you've done that whole bit, you just want to go and smooth it out with a load of water all the way around. Then for the bullet hole, I'm just taking a sort of fat square shape and then stretching it out and smoothing it out with the water again. Then to make the actual hole, you want to get the spatula, like the end of the spatula, make an indentation and then twist it round and sort of just manoeuvre it so you get a hole, and then try and keep making it bigger. Then to make the indentations in the neck, it's just going to be a line all the way, sort of, so it's basically split in two, so you can see that the incision where she's had her head chopped off. And you just want to sort of go and dab the spatula so that you're not moving too much of that wax that you've just put on, and sort of dab the line in. And if the wax is staying put, then you can drag it if you like, but you just want to sort of dab it and smooth it. And here it's a bit thicker here, so I can drag it along and make that incision more noticeable. Then taking the sort of stippling sponge, I'm using the red paint and dabbing that on the bullet wound, and then I'll go down the neck and dab around the slash as well for that sort of grazed blood effect. And then here I'm just going to put my finger in the bullet hole. I know it's very gross, but it's just going to make that bullet hole indentation a little more defined. Then once that's done, you just want to take a really old paintbrush that you don't mind getting messed up. Take some black eyeshadow or some black face paint or whatever. Fill in that little bullet hole on the inside and then go round the slash of the neck in that indentation you just made with the spatula to make it look very, very dark. And basically with all this you just want to make it as messy and as gruesome as possible. So you want to keep going in with black eyeshadow or black face paint and that red paint as well with the stippling sponge or just your fingers, just all to blend it and smudge it in and make it all look very dark and effective and bloody and gross. And with all this makeup, with the red and the black, you want to go down into the hollows of the chest, like where the bone of your neck is. And then also up the neck so you can see where the blood's dripped down from the bullet hole. And also maybe around the jaw as well, around the chin. Then here I'm just taking some more of that black eyeshadow and some more of the red paint around the bullet hole to make it look extra dark. Then for the stitches, I'm just using some cut up thread here. It might be best to use something a bit thicker so it's more noticeable, but the only thing I had on hand was some thin black thread. So I'm just going to use that and sort of sometimes put it in crosses and sometimes in just a straight line, because it's all sort of mixed up if you actually watch it. It's a variety of crosses and just one straight through thread. So you just want to keep going around the neck, putting those stitches on. And you just want to very carefully pop it on and then sort of smudge in and dab in the very top. So you don't want to touch the middle bit, just the ends of the threads into the wax. And here is the look so far before we put the blood on. This is just all the paint and everything. And now for the blood effect, you want to go straight in the bullet hole and make that really bloody and dark. And this is very difficult because I couldn't get the nozzle to work. I think maybe you have to cut it off, but I didn't have big scissors to cut that end off, so I'm just using the paintbrush here and trying to droop it down the neck. And you just want to get as much blood here as possible onto the paintbrush so that you can gloop it right down to the neck, so it looks like there's a lot dripping down. Then you just want to go around the neck very slightly on that incision with that blood, just to get a bit more around the whole neck. And then just for finishing touches, I'm just going to add a little bit more going down the neck. And there is the finished look. It's a little rubbish wig I put on, but hey, just for effect. I hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I hope you can take something away from it. If you use it for Halloween and cosplaying for the Comic Cons and things like that. And yeah, I hope it's been alright. I hope it's good. It's the first time I've done anything special effectsy, so I don't know how it looks. I hope it looks good. Please make sure to like the video, subscribe if you want more things like this in the future. Please feel free to comment and follow me on my social media sites. All the links will be in the description, as well as what I've used. Have a great Halloween, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye!